Every year on August 15, we celebrate the enormous contributions made by the nation's heroes, heroes who fought for the country's freedom. We remember our heroes, retell the stories of their lives, their valor to the future generation. But we often forget that India, in its struggle for freedom and liberty, was not alone. They had help from the renegades of India, renegades who came from foreign lands and fought for our freedom. This is our salute to them. Annie Besant. Born as Annie Woods in 1847 in London, she was three-quarter Irish and suffragette in her British youth. She married Frank Besant in 1867, later divorced him in 1873 due to her anti-religious views. But in her 40s, she embraced Theosophy, a movement based on Hindu ideas of karma and reincarnation. Theosophy inspired her to move to India in 1893. In India, she helped establish a girls' school and the iconic Banaras Hindu University. She soon plunged into the freedom struggle and became a key leader of the India Home Rule movement. The movement from 1916 to 1918 was a campaign to achieve self government for India within the British Empire. In 1917, Annie was chosen as the first woman president of the Indian National Congress. Annie and Mahatma Gandhi had a peculiar relationship where they were often seen arguing. But they both had one goal: India's freedom. Despite the wrath from an Englishman who called Annie a vain old lady, she remained unfazed and stood strong on her principles. Madeleine Miraben Slade. Born in 1892 to an English aristocratic family, her father was an admiral in the British Royal Navy. While at home in Surrey, she enjoyed music and was a concert manager. But her aristocratic lifestyle changed forever when she got her hands on a 1924 biography of Mahatma Gandhi. Madeleine was so fascinated by Gandhi's principle that she contacted him and asked if she could become her disciple and live in his ashram. She arrived in India in 1925 and made it her home for the next 34 years. With her hair cut short, dressed in a white sari and a vow of celibacy, Madeleine was now Miraben. She was arrested several times between 1932 to 1933 during the civil disobedience movement. The movement was started in 1930 with the historic Dandi March led by Mahatma Gandhi to protest against the British salt laws. The aim was to disrupt the British administration through non-payment of taxes and deliberate lawbreaking. She was imprisoned in 1942 in Aga Khan jail in Pune along with Gandhi and his wife Kasturba. In 1946, she was appointed the Honorary Special Advisor to the United Provinces government, now Uttar Pradesh. After Gandhi's assassination in 1948, Miraben decided to stay in India and only returned to England in 1959. In 1981, she was conferred with the Padma Vibhushan, India's second highest civilian order. Mumbaikars and frequent travelers to Mumbai know his name, of course. How could they not? The park in South Bombay, Horniman Circle in Kalagoda, yes, it is named after him. Horniman, Benjamin Guy Horniman, editor of the daily Bombay Chronicle, a newspaper that had become a pain in the neck of the British government. He defied the gag order on reporting of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre of 1919. On April 13, 1919, hundreds of Indians were killed after British troops opened fire at the order of General Michael O'Dwyer on a large crowd of unarmed Indians who had gathered at Jallianwala Bagh. Horniman published eyewitnesses' accounts, sourced and smuggled shocking photos of the massacre. They were published in the London-based daily The Daily Herald. This helped change the course of India's freedom struggle. His coverage of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre did not go down well with the colonial authorities. He was deported to England. But he outwitted the British Raj in 1925 and plotted a conniving return to India via Salem. He was a radical who campaigned for peasants and rights of the labor force. Samuel Stokes. Stokes was not from colonial Britain. He was an American born in the wealthy Quaker family. He came to India in 1904 to work for a home for the leprosy afflicted. But the Jallianwala Bagh massacre drew him to India's freedom movement. Active in the non-cooperation movement, a political campaign to have Indians revoke their cooperation from the British government, Stokes was jailed for 6 months, charged with sedition at the Lahore jail. He was the only American to be jailed during India's struggle for independence. Stokes wore khadi, married an Indian, became a Hindu, renamed himself Satyananda, set up a school, and introduced apples to Himachal Pradesh. Philip Sprat. Born to British parents in 1902, Sprat was a writer, an intellectual, and a Cambridge graduate. He was sent to India in 1926 by the British arm of the Communist Party to spread communism in India. Along with M.N. Roy, founder of the Communist parties in India, he was among the first architects of the Communist Party of India. Soon after arriving in India, he got involved in organizing the working class. In 1927, he was charged with sedition and causing hatred towards the government because of his pamphlet, India and China. B.R. Ambedkar, architect of the Indian Constitution, defended Sprat and won the case. Sprat is notoriously known for the 1929 Meerut conspiracy case, where CPI and Congress members were arrested for organizing workers' strikes. Over the next few years, he was involved in organizing several workers' and labor union strikes across India. When in jail, he read about the political developments in Russia and Western Europe at the time. He renounced communism in early 30s and was released in 1934 only to be arrested again for participating in the civil disobedience movement. After his release, Sprat continued his work with unions despite arrests and detentions. He married Sita, grandniece of the founder of first trade union in India, M. Singaravelu, in 1939 and continued to live in India. He died of cancer in 1971 in Madras. From a communist, Sprat became pro-capitalist. Later, he would often say, extreme left and extreme right were closer to one another in curbing freedom than they realized. As India remembers the heroes of freedom movement this Independence Day, let's also honor the renegades of India.